I saw a review where the host said OpenGate is probably the most overrated feature of recent years. Allow me to disagree. I've been waiting for the A7 IV for quite a while, and as someone who mainly shoots weddings and corporate work, I wanted to share my thoughts from a real workflow point of view. Hi everyone, my name is Jacob, and I thought I'd share my thoughts from the perspective of filmmaking and videography. For reference, I've been using the A7S III and the FX3 for the past 5 years. For me, the most important features of the A7 V is the 7.5 stops of image stabilization and the improved AI autofocus. Other honorable mentions are the new slightly bigger full-axis tilt screen and the 4K 60p, 50p, 10-bit uncropped video with good rolling shutter. I'm putting this as an honorable mention because for the past 5 years I've been shooting in 4K 50p all the time. It also has dual native ISO at ISO 800 and 8000. It also has blackout-free continuous shooting in photo mode. This is a very inviting upgrade if you're coming from the A7 IV, but if you're mainly interested in video specs, like me, I feel that while there are some upgrades, there are also some downgrades when compared to the A7S III and the FX3. As I mentioned, I work in wedding videography and I always record in 4K 50p 10-bit XAVC HS. I do this in the summer where temperatures can go up to 40 degrees Celsius or 104 Fahrenheit. That's scorching hot, and both the A7S III and FX3 have never overheated. I'm saying this because reliable and continuous 60p in 4K for me is a given. From all the reviews I've seen so far, it seems that Sony has done an amazing job with the thermals of the A7 V. Sony claims it's rated for up to 1 hour in 40 degrees Celsius or 104 Fahrenheit. I haven't found anywhere whether this is under direct sun, but for me this is not ideal for my work. A lot of times I'm recording continuously for over 2 hours, swapping batteries and continuing to record after that. So again, this comes down to the fact that this is not a specialized camera, but a hybrid with the pros and cons of being a jack of all trades. Then again, I think about all the upgrades this camera has versus the ones I already own. The new IBIS stabilization looks like a really nice feature for handheld work. Anyone who works with Sony cameras knows that weird sensor shift that sometimes happens when you're filming handheld or walking handheld. I mostly film on a gimbal, but in tight spaces with fast action, like on the dance floor for example, handheld is always faster and it can add to the feeling of the moment. But even though Sony's IBIS is extremely good when you're still, during movement I find it a bit restrictive. In my opinion, if you do a lot of handheld video work, this feature alone might be worth it, but it comes with a big crop. The other upgrade I'm intrigued by is the new Sony AI autofocus. My A7S III and FX3 are always set to autofocus. They've been amazing, but that doesn't mean they're perfect. There have been many times where they won't focus on the person right in front of them, or they'll pick someone further away. So even though the autofocus is very reliable, it's not foolproof. An improvement to autofocus is definitely welcome. These features are new though. The AI autofocus chip and the full-axis tilt screen were also released with the A7R5 back in 2022. Nevertheless, I still think that for a professional who wants to stay ahead in performance and reliability, the autofocus update is important. Now we come to the big elephant in the room: OpenGate. People have been requesting OpenGate from Sony for a long time, and unfortunately the A7 V does not have it. This would be the defining factor for me to buy or not to buy this camera. I saw a review where the host said OpenGate is probably the most overrated feature of recent years. Allow me to disagree. I'll say that for YouTube videos or interviews in a controlled environment, it might not be as necessary. You can just zoom out or place the camera further back, even though that could mess up your framing and require a bit of cropping later. But vertical video is here to stay. If you want to promote your work on social media or if a client asks for reels, vertical video is not just a bonus, it's as important as the horizontal video. Allow me to paint you a picture. You're a videographer at a wedding, next to you is a photographer, maybe 2 photographers, and also a content creator. It's a live event, so everything's unpredictable, fast-paced and hectic. Your goal is to get the best filming you can. Things happen so fast that it's unrealistic to ask the photographer to move further back or to get a vertical shot later. If they stand in front of you, you need to be right beside them so you don't have them in your frame. If an emotional moment happens right then, you can't simply step back or zoom out and risk missing 2-second moment or introducing camera shake. Weddings are spontaneous. You always have to go with the flow and be ready to capture the moment instantly. I've been waiting for Sony to bring OpenGate for so long, and honestly, this is disappointing. Additionally, I don't want to compromise on my horizontal shot just to get the vertical shot. I want to frame it precisely the way I want to, and the camera should be capable of offering this feature for the way we consume content today. So I'd argue that OpenGate is massively important, at least with how I work and this specific type of work. I believe Sony is saving OpenGate for the FX3 Mark II. Otherwise, if they put it in the a7 IV, the camera would be too close to perfect and could affect sales of their higher end models. So, who is the a7 IV for? The a7 IV is a camera capable of both photo and video. It's not a specialized camera. For someone who specializes in video, I would say this isn't it. If you do both photo and video for weddings, for example, this might be a great option. I also take photos with the a7S III. It's very capable as a photo camera, but if you want to crop, that's where its limitations show, since it's mainly a specialized video camera. So I would perhaps consider getting the a7 IV, mainly for photos. So what do you think? Is OpenGate a deal breaker, or is it mostly coming from a limited audience? That's it for this video, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.